So, yes, it's a good meeting the third in 3 weeks. But we're organizing it. We're kind of supporting each other in and they have this new.
Compared to 1996, we were all just starting, really, to have APEC in the format that it is now. And when I look at all the projects that have been developed and the initiatives, it's as though it just didn't grow. It blossomed into this amazing organization that has convening power that I think is the envy of many other multilateral organizations. We've had a fantastic urbanization event covering many, many aspects of the challenges that mayors and municipal leaders face as they grow their cities, as people migrate into their cities, as they plan new cities, as they look at satellite cities. And amongst those, there were some common themes. One was waste, one was health, one was housing, and there were more. But to look at the most common theme throughout, I'd like to invite the CEO of Ocean Conservancy, one of our big partners in a coalition that is seeking to help municipal leaders manage their waste, to sum up what we learned today. Thank you. Andreas Merkel.
Thank you. I am acutely aware that I am the last hurdle of your day, the last thing that stands between you and fun and dinner. And so I'm just going to make 4 very short points by way of summary of a really great session, a very thought-provoking session we heard today. So the first thing I heard today is that there's no more distinction between global issues and local issues. None. I mean, the demographics are just stunning, right? The world is becoming a city. And that city basically is all one system. We cannot differentiate anymore between the city system and the global system, or the ocean system and the city system, or the city system and the rural system. It's all one, right? What happens in the city on waste management is what happens in the ocean on ocean and plastics. What happens in the city on transportation is one of the most important things there is on climate change. City planning has emerged as one of the 3 or 4 big global conversation in climate change. Turn around, climate change determines the city's water future. Adaptation plans, food supplies, all one system. That came across really clearly today. Secondly, we need to take a systems approach to city management. I think that was maybe the biggest message of the day, right? A systems approach which is based on constant measurement, constant baselining, and constant adaptation to how well we're doing against a baseline that is set by our citizens, right? Not by some abstract competition. We were very clear on that, but by what our people want. And to do so, we need to look at things in an integrated way. We need integrated systems. And today we heard about integrated systems on healthcare, on waste, on transportations. And that what matters most is not where we are currently, but what are the adaptive processes that we have for going forward and building these systems. It's constant learning because the world is changing at an incredibly fast clip now, right? And so it's not static anymore. It's not we are here and we want to go there. It's we are here, we have a vision for going forward, and we're going to have to cycle, and we're going to have to cycle, and we're going to have to cycle, and we're going to have to learn because we're basically in terra incognita on many of these issues. Third point I learned, we're halfway through. We need to treat these cities as an open system. Help is on the way out there. There's an incredible amount of good thinking going on in the world. And all that good thinking and all these experts and all that money is rather desperately looking for places to go. We heard about the Trash-Free Seas Alliance and Waste to Worth today, looking for cities to work with in order to sort of shut down the major vectors of plastics going into the ocean. We had an amazing session on technology and how it can help with health and with establishing scorecards that helps us focus on what we really need to do. There are millions of business opportunities out there. We had a great session on fishing nets and how to turn them into carpets, and there's thousands, if not millions, of others. But what all of these things need in the cities are open arms. And a bunch of local ice breaking too, making sure that there's a fertile local environment on permitting and on local regulations. But that's not very hard, right? But cities are not alone. I mean, there is just a staggering network now of resources that are out there. The fourth and last point, and we're almost there, mayors and governors are the absolute key, right? Innovation doesn't happen on the gigantic scales of international treaty negotiations. International treaty negotiations generally sort of codify existing practice. They don't, there's not a whole lot of innovations. We've seen that in climate change. Innovation happens at a city scale. There's a huge opportunity for mayors and governors to get this right. And there's an existential need. I mean, I was just stunned by the statistics. 75% of the people are going to live in cities pretty soon, and how far behind we are. But the laboratory is fertile, help us on their way. Technologies are just now breaking through. A great time to be alive. And the last thing is, the one thing I found daunting was the $50 trillion number. That really bothered me, right? That there's a behind $50 trillion in investment in infrastructure. So I went to my hotel room and I looked it up. $50 trillion is about 10 years' worth of the normal public capital asset turnover. In other words, it happens anyways, right? This is the money that sort of gets reinvested on big capital projects anyway on the public sector. We just have to get it right. So we're okay, right? The resources are there, the expertise is there, the processes is there, the innovation labs is there. Let's have fun. Let's get this right. I found this an incredibly thought-provoking day, and I thank you all, and now you're free.